What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Back to Life podcast with Nikotjr. I am Nico, and I am your host. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving me your time today. I appreciate everything, and I just want to jump into a topic of discussion today where we talk about the idea of beating yourself up. And I actually wrote a book, and this is not to promote my book. This is to give you an insight on how to get out of that type of mindset where we beat ourselves up on a daily basis, where we wake up in the morning and all of a sudden we are our own worst critic. We wake up in the morning and we tell ourselves that we can't do it. How are you supposed to get people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? How are you supposed to run a business if you're telling yourself every single morning that you can't do something? This is a serious topic. This is something that you have to work on daily. It takes 21 days in this lifetime to create a habit, and that is good or bad. And if you are creating bad habits, guess what? You are pushing away the good ones that you have. I want to jump in right away. This book right here has 10 chapters, and it's literally named Stop Beating Yourself Up. You can get it on Amazon. We got the audio version. We got the paperback. And if you want to read Kindle, you can do that as well. The first chapter, we jump in. And we talk about perspective. Perspective is everything in life. And I'm kind of going to just flip through the book as well as we're talking about these different things. And I started the book off saying, like, before we dive into the importance of perspective, I want you to fully understand what that word even means. Google tells us that perspective is a particular attitude toward or way of regarding something, a point of view. Well, guess what? Every time that you wake up in the morning, every time that you are able to create thoughts, you are developing a perspective on whatever that may be, good or bad. And so I start this book off talking about things like, are your days typically filled with joy or are they filled with sorrow? Are they filled with happy thoughts or sad thoughts? You got to be able to differentiate. Like, you have to understand that the moment you wake up, the thoughts that you allow to go through your brain are from training, man. Like, imagine if you were raised in a household where everything was negative. How do you think you're going to become? You have to make the cognitive effort to change the way you think. If you can't change your mindset and change your perspective and change how you feel about life, you're always going to be negative. Always going to be negative. I mean, perspective is literally key to making sure that your life goes the way that you want it to go. Of course, things will happen. Of course, things are going to go back and forth. Of course, you're going to deal with life in so many different aspects. But at the end of the day, you have to be in control of what you're thinking. I tell people all the time, when I wake up in the morning, there's one thing I do, and it's the way I start my day off. And I don't care what you believe in, but I believe in Jesus, and I believe in God. And I will tell you, I'm a Christian. So I wake up in the morning, and I say, thank you, God, for waking me up. Thank you that me, my family, my friends, thank you that we're going to have an awesome day. Like, I'm so joyful in the morning. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to wake up because someone didn't get that opportunity. And that changed my perspective on life. When I started thinking that way, I can't even think of something different in the morning. I've trained myself to literally have those thoughts in the morning where I just thank God for the ability to be able to wake up and the opportunity to be able to wake up and go do awesome things. Because every time you have breath in your lungs, you are blessed. Every time you wake up in the morning, when your eyes wake up, you are blessed. Someone is crying over their loved ones right now. Someone does not have the opportunity to be able to say, I love you to that person they love. You are able to wake up. Be happy about that. Be grateful about that. Be thankful about that. But perspective in life will change the trajectory of where you're trying to go. Don't let the negativity of this world, don't let the negativity of social media, don't let the negativity of people around you, don't let negativity in your environment dictate how you live your life. Because that's not what your life is about. You've got to figure out what works for you. You got to figure out, like, what does my life entail? And then you got to grab life by the horns, grab that bull by the horns and live it. Don't be a victim. Change your perspective from a victim mindset to a victor mindset. When you start believing in winning, when you start believing in yourself, when you start being grateful, when you start being thankful, your perspective changes on life and you don't have to go around being the victim in everything that you're doing. Change your perspective and watch how your life is just blessed in abundance, overflow. Just watch, literally. But we're going to move on, okay? Chapter 2. And chapter 2 is named Reflection. And I think reflection, especially in a world that we live in with social media, with everything we have at the, just literally, you snap your fingers, you can have it. I think it's very important to understand that taking a look in the mirror shouldn't have a negative connotation. Taking a look in the mirror shouldn't make you feel terrible about yourself. We live in a society where, hey, something's wrong, cover it up. You feel these feelings, covered up. You don't want to do this, it's okay, don't worry about it. Every single day of your life is based off of like, oh, just let your feelings run how you want to live life. But at the end of the day, you've got to understand, when you sit there and look in the mirror, it is not judgment. It's empowerment. You're trying to help yourself. If you're not willing to help yourself, how can someone also help you? Just like I said, if you don't believe in yourself, how can someone else believe in you? It's nearly impossible. And I don't think anything's impossible in this world, but that is nearly impossible. If you can't sit there and take time to go, hey, let's see, I need constructive criticism. I'm not talking about judgment. I'm not talking about downplaying yourself. I'm not talking about people beating you down constantly. I'm talking about self-reflection, saying, I could be a little bit better at this. And how do I get better? I could lose a few pounds. How do I lose a few pounds? I wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym to work out because I took a look in the mirror. I said, let me reflect and see what I like and don't like, and let's see how I can get better. So I wake up at 6 a.m. and I tell myself, we're going to go get better. That starts with reflection. That's not judgment. That's literally waking up and saying, I want to be the best version of myself. So if you can reflect, if you can take time to truly say, hey, this is what I want for myself, and you can reflect and not worry about what other people are doing and then getting too busy and your life is this and your life is that. Everybody has a life. Everybody's busy. Everybody has something to do. Everyone has kids. People are having kids. People have jobs. People have opportunities. People have side hustles. People have everything going on in life. You're not the only one. But you got to be able to reflect and grow off of that reflection. Okay? A flower doesn't just grow because it grows. You have to water it. It needs sunlight. It needs to be seen. And that's the way you need to view your life. You need to actually sit there and see it. Don't just be in the moment constantly just thinking this is wrong, that's wrong, this is the... Like, take a step back and say, okay, I need to switch this around. Buy a whiteboard. Write things down. Like, see how you need to actually move your life. See how you need to move things around so that you are capable of doing what you want to do. Be okay reflecting on what your life looks like. We're going to move on to chapter 3. And this is something where it really hits home with me because I consider myself a busybody. I consider myself always on the go, and I got to be moving, and I'm driven, and I'm this and I'm that. Chapter 3 is accomplishments. And I think sometimes in life, we get so ahead of ourselves that we forget what we accomplished because we're trying to accomplish the next thing. And it ties back into chapter 2 because sometimes we have to reflect on what we've accomplished to truly understand what we're going to accomplish. Because if you're constantly just chasing something, if you're constantly just going through life thinking the next thing is going to be the best thing, you're never going to understand what it felt like to be in the moment that you were supposed to be in. You're going to overlook the opportunities. You're going to walk past the people that are saying, hey, if you come in this direction, I got you. The opportunity you were looking for, the accomplishments you were trying to take care of along the way, all of a sudden became a memory because you never took the time to actually sit there and say, I did that. And then you get to go into that next opportunity because you're too worried about, oh my gosh, I got to catch up to so-and-so. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to go. And you forgot that sometimes in life, you got to go slow. Like, you need to understand that this is important. The moment that you are standing in is very important. And if you can't sit there and be okay with the accomplishments that you have in your life at this very moment, what do you think is going to happen when you get to the next accomplishment? It's going to be the same idea. It's going to be the same moment when you get to that next accomplishment and you're jumping off to the next one because you don't even realize what you've done. We've trained our minds in this world that we got to look for the next big thing. Sometimes you need to look for the next big thing in the thing you're in right now. Like, I don't think y'all heard me. And if you did hear me, I congratulate you. But sometimes we look for the next big thing when the next big thing is in the thing that you're in right now. Like, that is a reality. That is something you need to start understanding, that your accomplishments are it's a milestone. You got to think everything you're going through right now, you got to be okay with what you're going through. Set those accomplishments, like big, small. Accomplishments make us feel good. But I always tell people, if you're constantly worried about what you're going to have for the next moment, how can you truly be thankful for the moment that you're in? But you do need to also be very conscious about what you're trying to accomplish. Don't try to accomplish things that are making you feel like you need to be doing something so that someone feels like you're validated. Do things that you want to accomplish so that you are validated in your own eyes, your own character, your own morals, your own lifestyle is validated. You can't sit around trying to please everybody in this life. You'll never accomplish anything. You'll always accomplish the insignificant. It will never fill you up. It will never make you feel full. You will always be chasing and chasing and chasing, and eventually you'll run out of energy. We only get a certain amount of time on this earth. Time is the most precious thing on this earth, and if you waste it trying to please everyone around you, you're basically slapping God in the face. You're basically saying, the time that I have for myself to be the best version of me, to glorify you, God, or whatever that version of you is, whatever it is you're trying to do in your life, chasing your purpose, your passion, going along that journey, you're basically slapping God in the face by saying, I'm just trying to impress everybody around me. Imagine that. You were fearfully and wonderfully made, and all of a sudden, you're trying to please everybody around you. Why don't you figure out a way to make a difference in this world? Why don't you figure out a way to change one person's life? Why don't you figure out a way to help that one person that walked by you that you could tell needed a little bit of life? Accomplishments should be measured by the impact we're making, not by how we feel because others think we're validated. Oh, you're valid. Oh, you're valid. Oh, you're this. No. Validate yourself by making an impact on this world. Like, I will always say that. And to end off accomplishments, I want to tell you, like, start every day off with small victories. Like I was telling you, when I wake up in the morning, that perspective, like, thank you, God, that's a victory. I make my bed in the morning, that's a victory. Small victories lead to bigger pictures being triumphant, okay? You've got to focus on that kind of stuff. Focus on the small wins and watch how that bigger picture unfolds. And one thing I always tell people, I kind of made this up as I was writing the book, and I said, in order to grow, you got to go. These accomplishments will come, but you got to know that you're going to be growing through it. Like, storms come, you got to fight through it. Something else, you got to get through it. Something else, you got to get through it. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep going, because life is going to throw stuff at you, but you got to keep moving in that moment. Like, it's okay. You're going to be all right. And I want to move on to the next chapter, and I'm going to grab a swig of water here, but I want to talk about being your own biggest fan and the haters. This is one of the most important chapters in this book because, like I said, we live in this world where we want to feel valid. We want to feel validated by those around us. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's mom pushed you to be this. Maybe it's dad wanted you to be this your whole life. Maybe it's your friend group going, oh my gosh, you make videos, you do podcasts, you're on TikTok, that's terrible, ha ha ha. Everybody's laughing at you. You want to be a builder, dude, you're not good enough. You got people sitting around worrying about your life with precious time that they'll never get back while you're doing what you want to do in this world. How crazy is that? How crazy is it that people are taking time out of their life to worry about what you're doing and if you're going to be successful? That's crazy. Imagine that there's people out there that stop their entire world. They're not worried about their kids. They're not worried about their wife or husband or grandma or mom or whoever it is in that picture. They're worried about you and what you're doing. You're doing something right. Keep doing it. Keep going, man. Like, this is a real thing. Like, people sit around and just they want to beat you down, right? You got to be your own biggest fan. Don't listen to other people. Believe in yourself so much that people are just confused at why you are so good at what you're doing. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. I keep saying that, and I will say that till the day I die. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. Believe in yourself, okay? Like, if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect others to? And isn't it crazy how others want you to fail so bad so that you don't surpass what they're doing in life? There's so much room at the table. There's so much room. You got to think, there's so much opportunity in this world, and people are still concerned and worried about what others are doing. You know, I can be a content creator. I can do this. I can do that. And there's so many more avenues somebody else as a content creator can go into. Why would I sit around and worried about what that person is doing? Why would I sit around and constantly just think, oh my gosh, like, I don't understand. Like, where are people getting like the motivation to be negative about somebody else? Like, where are you getting that from? It's unreal. And I want to just touch on something here because it's one of those moments in life. As much as our human tendencies want us to be liked by everyone, not everyone has your best interest at heart. And I think that it's one of those things you have to truly be okay being yourself. You have to slowly generate the mindset that pushes you to believe in yourself more than anyone ever could. If you start believing yourself, I'm not talking about being cocky. I'm talking about being confident in the characteristics and in the goodness that God blessed you with when he created you in your mother's womb. When he gave you the cool abilities to do X, Y, and Z. When he said, look, this is what you're going to be able to do in this life. You got to take advantage of that. Don't let somebody be so insecure with themselves that they start projecting their insecurities on you, making you feel like you're not good enough, when in reality, they wish they could be doing what you're doing in your life right now. Do not allow others to put that negativity onto your life. Speak life into them, and if it becomes too much, you got to remove yourself from that environment. You got to take yourself out of that equation and say, I got to go. You are not a fountain of water in my life. You are not projecting positivity into me. You are sucking the energy out of me. I got to get out of this. And that's going to happen. You got to cut people off in your life. People that you've been friends with for the last 20, 30 years, maybe 2 years. Your best friend from high school. Sometimes they're not the best people to be around. Been through it. Been done it. It's unfortunate. But guess what? This too shall pass. There's a quote I heard. It changed my entire life. 4 simple words. This too shall pass. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're trying to get through, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, no matter what person hurt you, no matter that your boyfriend, your girlfriend cheated on you, whatever it is, it's not easy, but this too shall pass. Understand that time will push you through those moments. So if you feel down on yourself, if you feel like too many people are doubting you, they're not giving you enough confidence, this too shall pass. Don't worry about that. Those moments are not what define you. The moments that define you is how you overcome what you are going through. The moments that define you are how you push through the worst moment of your entire life. Something you are not expecting, the curveball that came at you that you are not expecting, but all of a sudden you are triumphant. You are no longer a victim. You are the victor. Push through it. This too shall pass. Remember that. Let's move on. Chapter 5. I want to talk about overcoming fear. Okay, let's talk about the moments where you are scared crapless. You could literally be like, no, I am not doing, nope, just not happening. But guess what? Sometimes you just have to jump. Sometimes you just have to take that experience and say, you know what? If I fail forward. I fall forward. I learn from it. I always thank God. I say thank you for the lessons and the blessings in my life, because the lessons are actually blessings. The things that I went through that I wanted to work out so bad, the things that I thought I could never overcome, the things that I thought were just a problem in my life that I would never be able to accomplish, sometimes I was protected from that door. I didn't need to walk through that door. Sometimes the doors that you think you need to go through, like, you need to push through that door. You got to overcome that fear of like, well, what if I fail? What if I do this? What if I'm able to, embarrass myself throughout this entire experience? Who cares? What about it? You think you're the only one that's going to be embarrassed? But what if you come out of that experience a winner? What if you come out of that experience just enlightened and inspired to go change the freaking world? What if you help someone along the way that changes the world? Imagine that. Imagine being the person that gives someone else a little bit of courage just because they saw you do something amazing. And all of a sudden, they're the next president of the United States in 30 years. Or maybe they're changing their family's life because of you. You've got to be able to overcome fear. It's one of those things where, like, I talk about it in my book, and it's crazy because when you're a child, when you're growing up, it almost seems like you're fearless. You'll jump off of anything. You'll twist your ankle. You'll get on a bike. You'll fall off. You'll get right back up. But as we become adults, all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I'm capable. You are more than capable. You are more than capable. The thoughts that go through your head are not even close to the amount of things that you can actually do. Your body can go so much further than your mind lets you think you can, but it takes time. Like, just take it back to when you were a child. Have that mindset sometimes of like, you know what? Why not? Why not try that food? Why not try that new experience? Why not go to that new place? Sometimes you have to stop, relax, breathe, let your shoulders drop a little bit, and just take a second to yourself at this very moment and say, I can do this. I can make this happen. I am capable. I am powerful. I am triumphant. I am victorious. I will do this. I can do this. Those type of thoughts will change your life. You don't have to live in fear or live a fearful life. We're not put on this earth to constantly live in fear. No. We are here to make a difference. We are here to be able to go through life and to continue to take action, to continue to push through things that we never thought we could accomplish. That's what we're put on this earth to do. We are here to make a difference. Go make a difference. We're going to move on to goal setting. That kind of touches on accomplishments, but when I talk about goal setting, I think it's very important to understand what that means. That doesn't mean, okay, you thought some things in your head and all of a sudden you're good to go. Everything's great. You're perfectly going through life. Life goes on and you're just moving, and you're just thinking of stuff and it's happening. No. I'm talking about the moments in your life where you sit down, you write it down, and in 3 to 5 years, you make it happen. In 6 to 12 months, you make it happen. Goal setting is extremely important. Every year at the beginning of the year, January 1st, I write down, it's not a resolution. I write down what I'm going to accomplish. It's not what I want to accomplish. I write down what I'm actually going to do. And I encourage you, write it down right now. If you don't have goals in your life written down that you can look at and reflect on and go, this is what I've done to this point, sit down, pause this video, pause this podcast, pause whatever you're watching, and write down what you are going to accomplish, not what you want to. Make it happen. You have the power to make it happen. Think big, dream big, and go execute. Your life is dependent on you. The life you want to live is dependent on you. Your family's life is very much so dependent on you. If you want to live a certain type of lifestyle, what are you doing to make it happen? You've got to start goal setting. And like I always say, do the little things. Don't think about the bigger picture. If you start focusing on the Mona Lisa, you'll never get through that first paint stroke. You think when the Mona Lisa was painted, it just came to life? No, it was one stroke at a time, one paint stroke, one paint stroke, one paint stroke. And all of a sudden, there was this beautiful, priceless painting that people are willing to pay millions for, multi-millions of dollars. But it takes one stroke at a time. It takes one step at a time. It takes one moment at a time. Like, let's talk about how you can truly start goal setting, how you can put yourself into action. Start reflecting what you do on a daily basis. Does it align with what you want in the future? Do all of the things you do on a daily basis, or are you just in this mundane routine where you wake up, you do this, you do that, and then you get home and you can't wait to watch Netflix? Start making a change if you want to see a change. Make a template. Okay, if you want to see a change in your life, create a template on what you want your day to look like. Make a template on what you're going to be doing every single day and what you're going to create out of that life. What you're going to be doing on a daily basis to make sure that 3 to 5 years from now, you are able to accomplish what you set out to accomplish 3 to 5 years ago. That is very important. That is very, very important. That is one of the most important things you can do is write down your goals. Don't be afraid of them. Sometimes we feel like, oh, that's commitment. That means I have to do it. Then do it. Nike is one of my favorite mottos. Just do it. I live my life by that. You feel scared, just do it. You think you're going to fail, just do it. You think something's not going to work out, just do it. Because at the end of the day, if you fail, you're still in the same position that you were in when you were sitting there writing it down. Like, what's the difference? And you're going to grow through that. You're going to learn so many valuable lessons through it. I think that's where people get messed up in life. They think that if I start something and I don't finish it, it was a failure. No, it's a failure if you think about it in that perspective. It's not a failure if you're sitting there learning valuable things along the way. If you're getting amazing opportunities out of it, experiences out of it, you're understanding how to talk to people, how not to talk to people, how to lead people, how not to lead people. There's things you learn not to do that help you so that you can go do the right things. You got to understand that. Failure moves you forward if you have the right mindset about it. Start goal setting. Start the small goals. Life happens. And things are going to happen. And life is going to happen even more. And things come at you unexpectedly. Like the world can completely throw a 180 at you. But guess what? You got to keep moving through those goals. As long as you are committed to what you're telling yourself you're going to do, you got to shift your mindset, get your focus, and realize that you are able, you are capable, and you will do it as long as you commit to it. Now I want to move on to chapter 7. It's balancing social media. And I think chapter 7 being balancing social media is one of the hardest topics in this world right now, especially in 2022, especially at a time where life is always coming at you in a different perspective, especially on social media. Social media can ruin your life in 1 second, or it can change your life in 1 second for the better. And I think there comes a balance. And what I call myself, I say I'm a content creator, not a content consumer. And I think that's very important because we get so lost in this world thinking that what that person has, what this person has is what I need to have in my life. And this person posted a Lamborghini and this person a Ferrari and they're out in Dubai and they're doing this. Hey, that's all great, but that's not your life. That's not what you have going on in the moment right now. So why are you comparing yourself to them? You can look up to people. We love motivation, right? You can look up to people. Find somebody. But find somebody that's also going to teach you how to change your life to get to that. Don't let social media get in your head so much that all of a sudden you hate the real world. You live so much on your social media that you begin living in this world that does not exist in real life, and your real life is actually not existent. I know so many people that run to social media for validation, for confirmation that they're a good person when they could be being a good person in real life, changing lives on a daily basis. That's what we got to do. Social media, like I said, it can ruin you in 1 second, or it can change your life for the positive in 1 second, but you got to be grounded. You have to understand that social media is not real. People are posting highlights. People are posting the best things of their life, and all you're seeing is that. So all of a sudden, you think your life should compare to that. You think people are posting when they're throwing up because they have some kind of stomach flu? No. You think people are posting their failing business? No. You think people are posting when they're crying their eyes out? No. But all you see is smiles, happiness, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, cool clothes, the new outfits. Life is great. And now your life sucks. No, it doesn't. Become in touch with reality. Use social media for a positive platform. Help people. Be a smile to this world. I always say at the end of my videos on my new channels and everything, I say smile more, worry less, and stay blessed. Because life is a blessing. And if I can use social media to change one person's life, then I am doing my duty on this earth, and I firmly believe that. If I can change one person's life on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, on a yearly basis, it doesn't matter, then I am performing my duty on this earth. Smile more, worry less, stay blessed, and stop letting social media consume you. How can you allow the highlights of everybody else's life to reflect yours? That has nothing to do with you. Be okay with being where your 2 feet are. Be okay with the opportunity that you're in. Be okay with the reality that you're living in. And I will encourage you, if you are committed to just being on social media 24/7, if you are just addicted to it, you need to stop. You need to take a second. You need to breathe. And you need to reflect on how much time you spend using social media. Understand the mental power that social media can possess over you. It is unhealthy. Come to reality over the fact that what you see on social media is not always true, and slowly remove yourself from being too much of a content consumer. If that's what you're doing on a daily basis, you need to figure out how to be a content creator. Don't consume so much. And if you can't do either, that is okay, because being a content creator is tough as well. Being on the consumer side, you're just taking it in. Being a content creator, you're constantly trying to come up with ideas. You're constantly trying to make this matter and stay relevant. And sometimes your identity becomes, am I relevant? But you are. Sometimes you can get lost in the idea that well, my family doesn't watch my videos. Your family loves you for you. Your family loves you for who you are. Your family loves you for being Nico. Your family loves you for being whatever your name is. They don't need you on the internet. Be okay with that. If you are a content creator out there listening to this, be okay with being you, being yourself. You don't have to put on this front. You don't have to put on this idea of what people want you to be. You can be yourself. I promise you. And the people that truly love you will always love you. You're not entertainment to them. Don't forget that. Just because we feel like when we're creating content, we have to be entertaining, we have to bring this, we have to stay relevant, the people that love you the most don't care about that. And sometimes it's easy to forget that. Understand that they love you for who you are. They don't know you as a content creator. That's what you became. That's a career. That's not who you are. I think sometimes people in life get it mixed up. They think, well, I do this, I do that, so I'm an engineer and I'm a this. No, that's just what you do for a living. Don't get confused here. What you do for a living is not who you are. You're kind. You're compassionate. You're loving. You care about people. You love being around. You love serving. You got a good heart. Being an engineer, being a content creator, that's just what you do. That's not who you are. Don't get it twisted. Understand that that's just a part of who you are, but that's not who you are. That's just what you do on a daily basis. So understand that you don't have to be somebody else. Be yourself. And the people that actually love you will continue to love you. Stop letting social media ruin your life. Literally. Please. We're going to move on to chapter 8, and it's actions speak louder than words. And I'm going to take another sip of water here, so that's what you're going to hear. So we're talking about actions speak louder than words, and I'm going to skip through it in the book here. I think this is one of those things, especially in the world that we live in, we can get caught up in this let me tell everybody what I'm going to do. Hopefully it works out, and that's just the way it's going to go. And then we get so disappointed in ourselves. We feel like, oh my gosh, I let myself down. I told people, I let them down. Sometimes, if you're trying to do something important, if you're trying to do something that really, really is important to you, do it first, then tell people. Don't worry about what you're trying to impress people with. I can promise you they could care less what you have going on in your life. When they go to sleep at night, they're not thinking about you. Don't worry about telling everybody what your plans are. Just make it happen. Then if you want to tell somebody, be like, yo, look what I did. Actions truly speak louder than words. Don't sit around. This is a lost art for many people. This type of behavior, oh, I just want to talk about it. I just want to talk about it. I want people to think that I'm this great guy. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You're going to exhaust yourself mentally trying to come up with things that you're actually not doing. And then one lie turns into another, and another turns into another. And all of a sudden, everything you talk about doing is not a reality. And you're trying to make up this reality in a fake world. You're trying to convince people, and you're telling people on a daily basis, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm this great person. When in reality, you're at home and you're sad. Let your actions speak louder than your words. You'll start developing this unreal just commitment to things. Don't get to the end of your life just to be filled with regrets. Don't get to the end of your life just to talk about, well, if I would have just done what I said. Believe that you are destined for something greater. Believe that you have it in you. Believe that this life is here for you to make that difference. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Make something happen. Like, seriously. We're going to move on. Chapter 9. It's actually the title of the book, and it's Stop Beating Yourself Up. I think that sometimes we get through an entire, let's say it's a podcast, let's say it's a motivational video. We can get through something and think to ourselves, oh, that was so great. That was awesome. I'm about to go change the world. And then a day later, all that dies off. Don't let your emotions dictate what you're actually going to do. Don't get on a high and all of a sudden the next day you're back on your low. Stay consistent with what you say you're going to do and stop beating yourself up. Change your perspective. Change how you reflect. Make accomplishments happen. Be your own biggest fan. Forget the haters. Overcome fear. Start setting goals. Balance your social media. Your actions need to speak louder than your words so that you can stop beating yourself up on a daily basis. If you do that on a daily basis, if you work on those things, you will change how your life looks. You will stop beating yourself up. You will stop listening to the naysayers. You will stop listening to the negativity. You will make a positive change in your life and watch how you flourish. A flower, trees, bushes. I always think about that. I think about the storms that come through and they're hanging on. They're hanging on. They're hanging on. They're hanging on. There's another storm. Then there's some sunlight. Then someone's picking up the weeds. They scratch the flower a little bit. And the flower's like, I'm still hanging on. I still got this. And then you see this beautiful flower. And that's us. That's life. Everything we go through on a daily basis will just wreck us. There's good days, there's bad days, but this too shall pass. But you have to stop beating yourself up. If you are the one beating yourself up on a daily basis, how do you ever expect yourself to get ahead in life? How do you ever expect to be able to prosper? You've got to stop beating yourself up. It is not worth the negative thinking, the negative talk, and doing all these negative things on a daily basis because all of a sudden you start hating yourself. Stop beating yourself up and change that mindset. And this leads into our last chapter, chapter 10, your moment. This is your moment. If you don't understand anything I've said today, the last thing I want you to hear is that this is your moment. You make it through this book. Let's say you read it. And you're like, I'm trying. Trying is not good enough. You have to do it. I don't know how many times I can sit here and tell you, but you have to do it. You have to take action. You cannot talk about it. You can't keep writing it down. You can't keep telling your sister, your brother, your cousin, and everybody else in between. You have to go do it. This is your moment. This is the moment that you're going to win. You will win. There will be lessons along this path, but that will not stop you. You will persevere and find a way to get through anything that life may throw at you. You are absolutely built for this. Everything you've done in your life has led up to this very moment. Be proud of yourself, not hard on yourself. Hold yourself accountable and prove to yourself, not anyone else, that you are capable of doing exactly what you put your mind to. This is your moment. Go live in it. Stop beating yourself up. Understand that life will continue to come at you. And the longer that you play the victim, you will always feel like your life is in shambles. I encourage you, smile more, worry less, stay blessed. Don't take life too serious. I get it. There's so much serious stuff going on, but whatever you're going through today, you'll probably go through it tomorrow. So why would you spend the energy stressing about it today and just beating yourself up on a constantly based, just every single moment of your life? Take moments in your life to work on how you can come out of that. This is your moment. Go live in it. Go make it happen. I hope this book encourages you to change what you got going on. If you don't like your situation, you are the only one who can change it. If you don't like what you're doing in life, you have to take the first step to make a change in your life. And it's baby steps. This is not something that happens in a day. I'm 28 years old. This has taken me time. My parents came over here in 1989 with 3 kids from the Soviet Union, what's now the Ukraine. Me and one of my sisters were born here. They had 5 kids. My dad was in his 30s. My mom was in her 30s. They had 3 kids. They spoke no English. They had no money. They had no opportunity. But they made an opportunity once they got here. Back in their homeland, they were refugees. They had to flee. I always think about that. I always think about my parents' story. 1989, you speak no English, you have 3 kids, you come over to the United States of America, you have 2 more kids, you speak no English, but you make something out of it. They saw opportunity in no opportunity. And that's the way your life must be. If you want something to change, you have to change it. Imagine if you were 33 years old right now and you only speak English and you move to a different country. Would you make something happen? Or would you feel sorry for yourself because you don't speak that language? You figure it out. You write down a plan. You make changes. You do things that are going to help you in life because you're going to have a family one day. Or you're going to take care of yourself and somebody else one day. You have to be the one that makes that change. No one's going to make it for you. No one's going to sit there and say, hey, let me do this for you. That's very few and far in between. You have to be the one that makes the change and makes your life what you want it to look like. If you're not out there hustling, grinding, doing the right things, what are you doing? We have one life on this earth. We have one opportunity to make a difference. Go make it. I freaking love you. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you want to grab this book, it's called Stop Beating Yourself Up by Nikotjr Jr. on Amazon. We got the paperback, the Kindle, we've got the audio version, and honestly, you can just listen to this podcast 10 times, and basically it's the book. I don't care if you buy the book. I just want you to stop beating yourself up, honestly. Like, I love you. I love every single one of you listening, watching, whatever it is. And I will continue to love you. And I hope that you start loving people more, and I hope that you start making a difference more. And like I always say, smile more, worry less, and stay blessed. This is Nikotjr on the Back to Life podcast. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.